Could we be in a junk card show era?
K-Line rookie, $750, folks.
Frank, contact the trademark office before Neo tries to take that as his own. What's going on, sports card hobby family? Another day, another sports card video. We had the Dallas Card Show this past weekend and some other shows, and there was a little bit of chatter, not all of it being great. So we are going to cover that and just cover card shows as a whole. Before I do get started, huge thanks to today's video sponsors, COMC.com. Are you on the hunt for that next NBA superstar or looking to find some Hall of Fame hockey autographs? Look no further than COMC. Their growing 35 million card inventory is a treasure trove for collectors with a wide range of options to suit every taste and preference. The user-friendly COMC interface allows you to filter and search for cards with ease, ensuring you find exactly what cards you're looking to add to your collection. Make sure to check out my links down below in the video description as well as the pinned comments to take you there. Also, Hakes Auctions ending in about 2 days, the huge March auction. Got a little over 2 days left, so don't miss out. Some hidden gems in that Hakes auction, everything from sports cards, non-sports cards, all the different stuff. Check out Hakes Auctions now. All right, just like with third-party grading, we have been in a card show boom really since the pandemic officially ended or sort of ended or whatever you want to call it. There has been years now of really strong card shows on the back of pent-up demand for people wanting to get out of the house, number one, and number two, just kind of that face-to-face interaction and being able to wheel and deal in person as a kind of a substitute for working online to buy, sell, trade cards. Because yes, online, it's very easy to just be on your couch, click of a button, you can buy cards. But there's also something to being able to go and talk to somebody face-to-face and negotiate with them face-to-face. And that's been clearly something that people have enjoyed doing. Now, card shows have kind of shifted over time and there's people doing different things. There's a lot of demand for card shows. There really has been. But as part of that, what we've seen is card shows popping up all over the place. And I've been seeing more and more comments about, is there kind of card show fatigue? Are there too many of them? Do we have too much supply? Hence like junk slab era, junk card show era. Is there just too much supply of card shows? I have heard of dealers that are torn with dates to where it's like, man, I want to be at these 3 card shows, but they're on the same weekend, just can't do it. So you have dealers, whether you're East Coast, West Coast, that are trying to get back and forth, also weighing costs. Think about all the travel, the hotel, all the stuff that comes along with it. And I think it's tough. It's a tough market nowadays too. There's a lot more slim margins than what we used to see. It's just facts. And now there's another added wrinkle in here that's been talked about really over the last 12 to 18 months, the rise of repackers and repacking companies.
Use the website if you have to. Do whatever you've got to do to get through.
And I think just more demand for repacks based on the fact that your hobby box is $800, $900, $1,000 for your favorite product. I think a lot of people are saying, you know what? I don't want to buy into a break. I don't want to buy a box for $800. I guess I can buy a repack, and at least I feel like if it's a good repack, again, lots of trash repacks out there, but there are some I think that people get good value out of, and so they just keep on going back to those. I've never bought a Hit Parade, the David Adams repack, never bought one before, but they're so damn popular that they are continuously buying cards at 80, 90, sometimes 100% of comps for repacks that I assume demand is high for the repack product because they're paying strong, a lot of times stronger than what you're going to find from other dealers, peer dealers, and that sort of thing, or customers for that matter. That brings us to the Dallas Card Show, where there was some chatter online about, good for the repackers. Hey, it's been great for repacks, and then also buyers having to compete with repackers, and then also dealers turning down maybe an offer on a card because they're like, you know what? I'm just here to get bought out by the repacker, which then makes me wonder, do you even need to buy a table at that point? Can't you just reach out to the repacker and say, send them your inventory list or whatever and get a price? I don't know. It just seems like if you're going to go set up at a show, but your main interest is really just to sell to a repacker, there's probably a more efficient way to do that than to sit there all weekend and just wait for a repacking agent to come by to buy off of you, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
School's closed. It's a holiday, you dumbasses. Whoa.
The first and only time I've ever set up at a show was the Atlanta Culture Collision going back a few months now. I had a great time, but I had a lot kind of wrapped into that trip, so it wasn't just contingent on me selling cards. I did sell. I sold about $1,700, $1,800 of sales of cards there at the show, and I did make profit. However, of course, when I take into account travel and everything that goes into it, I probably broke even on the show, but I also made money from content. I also got to do a lot of really great networking while I was there. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm a content creator. I've got kind of a variety of different reasons why I can go to the show. I can go see Cards HQ. I was there for the opening for that. So there was a lot of things that I could do that were just outside of me going and selling cards. I can't imagine that had been, if I was going there to sell cards for a living, then it would have been a totally different experience, a lot more stressful. I don't know, it just would have been very, very different. So I assume that a lot of dealers probably are doing this as kind of more of a fun side gig that they enjoy doing. And I know, though, that there are some large dealers that are doing this for a living. They need to make money. That's where I really look at it and wonder who's actually making any sort of real money. I don't know. I mean, and again, maybe there's people that are doing amazingly well. I'm not a part of this in crowd to really know. I'm sure there'll be people in the comments that'll say, you don't know what you're talking about. I make $5,000, $10,000 profit every show or most shows or something. And maybe that's true. Maybe it's more of a branding thing too, to where you're making sales, but you're also getting yourself out there. You're kind of networking with other dealers so that you're able to get good prices on things and sell to them. So I'm sure there's probably a variety of different reasons why, shows are important, but you kind of wonder with local shows and kind of the mid-sized regional shows, as more and more of them pop up, is there enough demand to go around? And again, I do know that table costs, are going to be very different for a local show compared to the national. Of course, that's going to be the other extreme where you're paying thousands and thousands and thousands for a table or for a couple of tables, if you can even get one in the first place. Also, I was a little bit surprised to hear, and it wasn't this show, it was a few different shows that I did hear to where it seemed like it was a little bit slow attendance-wise. People weren't buying. And I understand those are kind of typical things. And also, look, it's a very small data set. I also did see a lot of comments that the Dallas Card Show was great. That they had a great experience as either a buyer there, as a customer, as an attendee, and then also as a dealer. So it wasn't all, bad, but I've just seen more and more, it feels like, especially with Dallas, that feels like to me, it's kind of a marker for me because Dallas is a big, important show. They actually do shows very frequently. What are they doing every other month or something like that? So they do quite a few shows a year, and they've got huge vendors there. There's a lot of big companies that are based out of their Fanatics and Beckett being a couple of them. So Dallas, to me, if Dallas starts to slow down, that's kind of, it's news because it's kind of like, Bitcoin slows down and the rest of the altcoins slow down. Dallas, the National, some of these larger shows, if they start slowing down, I almost feel like it's somewhat of a marker as to what's going on in the larger space. It also is a little bit surprising to me because it's tax season time. Many people do have discretionary income. And so if card shows aren't busy now, I can understand, look, if it's November, December, we're at the end of the year where card shows are always slower, fine. But now I would think that card shows are doing nicely, kind of leading into the summer where it kind of slows down maybe a little bit leading up to the National, and the National kind of kickstart fall, and there's a lot of busy fall shows. It's a little surprising to me that I would hear that there's shows that are slower or people not spending as much money now, like March, April timeframe. I don't know though. But again, maybe this is a small sample size. Maybe Dallas was bustling and people were spending a ton of money.
$4,000. But folks, the bottom line is you're going to get,
it's kind of hard to get a gauge. I also wasn't there on the ground to be able to see it for myself, which makes it very, very difficult to get a good read. Anyway, if you were at the Dallas Card Show, please throw your thoughts in, or any card shows over the last couple weeks. What have you been seeing? Are we starting to see a little bit of a chink in the armor, a little bit of a trend downward in the card show world? Or is everything moving along the way that it has, and maybe I just missed it, or maybe, caught the handful of comments of people that were just having a bad experience? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.